Hey guys, hope you are doing great. Welcome back to Job Koala.
We completed the session one, the before weekend, not the last before weekend. Okay. Uh, Now we are moving to the session two of Python. What exactly that we are going to learn in this session two? Let me cover up with a small summary. With a just four topics, they are variables and constants, and the second one is namespace and scope, along with input and output, which is more important in the Python, along with the operators. Why I said that input and output is more important, because without input and uh, we cannot give something to the program, something to the system or computer. Without output, we cannot give something, we cannot get something from the computer. That is, output is nothing but which we get from the computer. Input is nothing but what we are giving to the computer. Okay, coming to the first topic here, it is variables and containers. Okay, uh, I will save you with two examples, but before saying these two examples, let me cover up these points. What exactly is the variables, and what they are defined, and all the stuff here. Okay, coming to the variables. Variables are nothing but the things which are used to store something, to store variables, to store values. Okay, variables are nothing but the things which are used to store values. For suppose, if your in git, it is called as repository, and type of things, repository, the place where we will store something, it is called a repository in git. Whereas in the python we will define variables is the place where we store. For suppose, if a equal to 10, if you mention that, a equal to 10, then what it will say, a is a variable, a is a variable which stores some value which is 10. Or else, if you want to give a equal to apple. Okay, now just print a. Let us check what exactly we will get the output here. Let me save it, and let me, how I am doing all the things I had already explained in the first session. If you miss it, just go in our YouTube channel and check it out, the session of first session. Let me try to check the output of this one. Py space class2 dot py. What exactly is the output of this apple? Okay, okay. A is the one which is called variable, which stores something which stores something. So variable is the one which is used to store the value or data or anything. When you declare a variable, it occupies some space in the memory. So actually, when you declare, I declared here, yes, apple, it will take some space. This space will be defined based on the thing what we are giving, that is integer or string or character, or all the things based on the based on the things what we are giving, it will take the space. In python, basically, everything what we give or assign as what we give is called as input is always a string. I will cover this topic when I come into inputs and outputs thing. Before that, let us keep that part a bit aside. Okay, for suppose, if let me take an example. For suppose, if you have paint, let me take paint. For suppose, if you have three or four kiddie banks where you are storing some amount of money, then how will you define the things? Let me take this one. See here, there is a kiddie bank 1, kiddie bank 2, kiddie bank 3, and then kiddie bank 4. There are 4 kiddie banks for you now. Okay, now what you have to do is you have to store the amount related to you. Here you are storing, for suppose 5 rupees. Here you are storing 10 rupees. Here you are storing 20 rupees, and here you are storing 30 rupees. Okay, now you want now you want 35 rupees. Then what will you choose? You will choose this kiddie bank and this kiddie bank, which will totally comes up the value of 35. Okay, you want to buy some books. Each book value equal to 20 21 rupees. Take an example, that's it. Book let us take an example that you want to buy a book. Each book value is 20 rupees. Now you want to know how many books will you, if you use all the amount in these kiddie banks, if you use all the amount in these kiddie banks, how many books will you buy? Okay, how will you do that? 30 plus 20, 50, 50 plus 60, 60 plus 50 plus 10, 60, 60 plus 5, 65. Okay, 65, totally 65, right? Okay, fine. Totally 65. Now you have to divide this by 21. How many books you will get? 21 to 42. 42, 58. Okay. Nearly around 3. 3. Let us take 3, or there may be the more point will become. Now you will get around 3. 3. Okay, fine. Now you will get the 3 books. How you define that you will get 3 books? You have you have calculated the things what you have, right? What you have in the variables. See, each and every kiddie bank is a variable. The value which, I mean, value or the amount that we stored is a thing which, or data which we store is a available in that. By using this data only, we are able to find how many books I can buy. Okay, now coming to here. Okay, fine. Variables can be changed at any time. Okay, variables can be changed at any time. What exactly the is that mean? For suppose if there is 5 rupees, for I can add 5 more rupees, or I can remove 2 rupees. So I can change this value available in this kiddie bank, right? That is what the point here. How to set variables? How you will set the variables in Python? We will not specify the set data types. What exactly is this mean? Wait a minute, in the next slide I will clear you off. No need to set the data types and all the things. If you want to know the type, then we will come back to this, to these 4 points. Okay, to these 3 points, once we complete this slide. Okay, let us take an example of the generations. We have old generations and new generations, right? Yes. uh, in the old generation, children, in the old generation. Okay, I was reverse. It is a new generation people like you guys. I am a old generation guy. Okay. Okay, fine. Now, new generation people are using mobile phones. Children are using mobile phones, and they are playing different types of the games. If someone comes to their home, they don't know what exactly they are belong to them. For suppose if one of the relative from far distance come to his home, he or she don't know what exactly is that, I mean, they belong to them. In the same way, but old generation people, there is no mobile phones. They usually talk to their relatives normally, and they know what who came to their home at what time, and what they belong to them. Okay, now comparing these two, new generation we will have. For this new generation, they don't know what exactly is this. This is nothing but C++, Java. In C or C++ Java, a is equal to, we will define a equal to int a equal to, we will define like this. uh, int a equal to 2, or char a equal to char a. In this way we will define, or we will define like this: float a equal to float a equal to 2.25, like this we will define all things. But in this case we will not define the things. But in this I mean but in this Python we will not define what exactly that we are giving input. In C I mean in the new generations, like new generation people don't know what exactly the relatives belong to them. In the same way, C++ or Java don't know what exactly the given value is. So we will define like this int or float or char or anything we will define like this. But for Python, we will not define what exactly the input what we are giving. See, if you can see Python, we will not define the things what we are giving. Then in that case, we will we will just type of a what it will give. Let us check the output. Let me check it out. Oh, I haven't printed out, right? So it is not giving output. Let me try to print this as well. Then we will get an output. Let us check what exactly it is giving output. See, here it is giving us a str string, but we haven't defined that it is a string. But how it is taking, it is inbuilt. It will take everything as a what type they are belong to variables. Now coming to these 4 points, in Python we will not specify the data types. See, that is what we haven't specified the data type. But in C or Java we have to specify. Without specifying, they will not know what exactly is the input what we are giving. No need of set of data types. That is what we are seeing right now. If you want to know the type of the type, then we just print it is small p, because it is a case sensitive. Python is a case sensitive, so we will use the small p here. I by mistake I write the capital P here. No worries. Now, as I said before, see, here we haven't defined all the things, right? In the same way, print is giving us a output. Print type of the thing. Okay, it is giving the output of what exactly is the string. Okay, fine. Next, coming to here, next point. Now, this is what exactly the variables. Variables is the one which is used to store. There are different ways to declare the variables. How? What are the ways? There are some ways I just mentioned. There are a lot more might be. Uh, you can check it out in the Google. Just see it out. You can define, if for suppose if four variables have the same value, you can define them separately, or you can give them in a single line like this. Okay, a equal to b equal to c equal to d. Okay, fine. Or four different variables have four different values, then we can define in a different way, or we can separate them by using commas, and we can define them. We The naming rules of these variables is same as that of identifiers. What exactly the naming rules of the identifier I had already mentioned in the previous video. If you can go through and check it out, it is good. So coming to the constants, variables we have done with. Now we are with constants. What exactly is the constant? Constant is nothing but a fixed value. Okay, constant is nothing but a fixed value. It will not change, but we will specify this constant but we will specify this constant with the capital letters. Okay, which will not change once assigned. Okay, but the naming convention is always a capital letter. For example, universal fixed values like gravity or pi, we will define them with a capital letters. Okay, now coming to the next topic, name, scope, namespace and scope. Okay, it is one of the most important topic, I can say, among with the previous. The the most important topic in the Python right now is input and output. We are going to discuss after this namespace and scope. What exactly, for suppose, before entering into the namespace and scope, let us answer some of the questions. What is your roll number? What is your roll number in your class? Your roll number might be 1 2 or 3 or anything, 15 hp, 16 hp, 17 hp, or 17 8 based on your college, or based on your place, or based on your class 22 32 34, 32 44 45. In the same way we will have different types of the roll number. What exactly this roll number is used for? It is used to identify the persons in the class. For suppose if there are 100 persons, how we will identify based on their roll numbers, right? That's it. Okay, two persons of the same class. If there are two persons in your class, they can have the same name, but they cannot have the same roll number. Yes, but some the person from the other class, person from the other class can have the same number. For suppose if your roll number is 2, and the other person who is your friend, but he is not in your classroom, I mean, he's not in your class, and he's not in your department or anything. He's outside of your department. Then his roll number can be 2, no problem that. Okay, now coming to the namespace. Namespace, what exactly is the namespace? Unique name given to each and every object. Namespace is nothing but we will define the things in a unique way. For suppose if in your class there are 10 people, each and every people will have different roll number. In the same way we will define unique name given to the each and every object. Python doesn't have same name for objects with a single scope, within a single scope. Okay, within a single scope. Okay, what exactly is the scope? If you can ask me, just go into next step. Scope, let me explain with a small example. There is a This is your school. This is your school. This is lower class, and I mean 10 to 1 to 5 classes are here. And here there is 1 to 5 classes here, in this area, and 6 to 10 classes in this area. Okay, I'm just mentioning. There are more maybe. Here I mentioned more bubbles. Okay, let us take an example that this is entirely your classroom. This is entirely your school. Okay, in that school, primary, I mean, class 1 to 5 is available here, and class 6 to 10 are available here. For suppose if there is something happened in this, in the class 2, in the class, in second class, what it will go out to the seventh class? No, because its scope is only this area. it may it, its scope is only this area. But if something happened outside the, I mean, if something happened in this ground, if something happened in this ground, then every member in each and 1 2 3 4 5 classes will know what exactly is happening. For suppose if it is happened internally in the class, then the persons who only inside the class can know it. Okay, name scope. See, Python doesn't have same name. For suppose second class, right? If something happened in the second class, will only the people inside this second class will know. The people outside the other classes will not know. For suppose if something happened in the playground, then playground of 1 to 5 classes, then only the people of 1 to 5 classes will know, but the other classes people will not know it. Okay, now to explain the scope, let me take an example and explain to you. Here let me write an example. See, I just write a small function here. Okay, function here. This is the function. Okay, def is the function. We will go what exactly is the function in the coming classes. Nothing to be worry. Okay. Now what will you think the output will be? Okay. L- Sum first, initially we defined sum equal to 10. Then it will come to calculate. Calculate has a function defined. Okay, now it will go to this place. CS equal to 200. Total equal to sum plus 200. Sum plus 200 means sum is already explained at the outside the scope, not inside the scope, already given outside the scope. Then 10 plus 200, 210. The print, we are printing the total. Okay, then the output will be, 200. Okay, let us check what exactly it will give. Let me save this one first and then come back to here and run the things. Def. Okay. Indentation error. Okay, I haven't given this in the functions class. Most important thing is indentation. What exactly is the indentation and all the things we have already defined in our previous class. Go, you can check it out before joining this. It is best. See, indentation error. I haven't saved it, right? I saved it. Okay, fine. I saved it and then come back to the indentation. Unexpected indent. Where exactly is the indent? No. Okay, but it is fine, looks fine, but let me check it out once so that it will be clear. CALC is calculate, fine. Now we have defined it. Okay. Oh, fine, fine, fine. Let me check it out. Unexpected indent. What exactly, which place we are getting out this error? Oh, got it. Def might be a small function here. Let us check now. Okay. Now let me check it out the output right now. See, now as I explained before, it is 10. Actually, what happened is the before case we have already indented. So most important concept in this Python is indentation. So please be remember that one. If something goes wrong, then we will not get output. What exactly right now it happened? 210 it is. Okay, fine. How it is 210 we had already explained. Now coming to the next thing. Okay. Now for suppose, what is the output of this program? What is the output of this program? Fine. Give me the output of this program. Then what do you think the output? First it will initially sum equal to 10, right? Okay, fine. Next it will go to this place. Calc equal to calc is a function. It will go this place. So CS is equal to 200. Then sum equal to total equal to sum is 10, and sum is 10, which is globally available. What exactly is the globally and locally, I will explain. Be cool. And CS is 200. Okay, fine. Print total is 210. Fine. Now print CS will prints the output is 200, right? Okay, fine. CS will print 200. Before the 200 it will print 210. Let us check the output once. Inconsistent use of the tab. Okay, space in indentation. Fine, now it looks fine. See, this is most important thing, what exactly is the indentation and all the things, or else we can print cs at the by using the top function. Print cs is not defined. See what exactly is giving output. Cs is not defined. Why cs is not defined? Why it is giving the cs is not defined? Because cs is in this function. This scope is this one. For this cs the scope is only at this place. For suppose if I try to print cs there, then it will give the output. See, it has given output as 200, sorry, 200. First it will print the total 200 and 210. cs is not defined outside. So what exactly I mean to say is, this scope is available, this cs scope is available only up to this place. We had not defined it globally, so outside this function we cannot print it out. That is what happening at that place. Fine. Now coming to the next thing. For suppose if you declare sum inside the function, let us do that. Let me give the sum as sum equal to 100. Let me remove this cs here and save. Take the thing what exactly is giving us output. See why it become 300. Let me explain you. First it will take sum equal to 110. Okay, fine. Now it will go to this place, and this will take to the function already some I mean but if you print sum here, that is also we will check in the next class, next one. Before going that, I will explain you why we get the 300 here. Okay, then the sum here it will automatically replaced with 100. Now cs is 200. 200 plus 100, 300, printing total. Now now that is before the one. Now we are printing the sum. What will you think the output of output of sum here? As we discussed it before, this sum scope will be available only in this place. No, now so this sum print answer will be 10. Let us check whether we are right or not. See, yes, we are right. So the answer is 10. Perfect. Can you see it? Perfect. Then coming to this function, this is what we defined right now. Finish. Next scope. Now the real thing comes right now with this one. For suppose for suppose if you define like this, global sum. hmm? Now what will be the output for this print? Will it be 10 or it will be 100? It will be 100. The reason is that here we are declaring that this sum which within this function should be used as a global. For the next time, first it will go this place, next it will come here, and it will enter in this place, I mean into the function. And we are declaring the sum inside this function as a global one. Then and we are adding all of things. Now the answer for the print which is outside, print sum which is outside the function is all is 100. Let us check whether we are correct or not. See, yes, we are correct. We are getting it as 100. The reason why we get this 100, the reason is that it is already the reason is that we had all declared the sum as a global in this function. So wherever for the next time you will use the sum, it will takes the same value at this place. Okay, that's it. Perfect. Now we came to know what exactly is the scope. Scope means the particular area of things. If you define it as a global, then everything will take as a global value. Okay, fine. Let me take it. Let me explain you in one more check. Let us check one more. If you define this as a global now, we should not have two globals now. If you define this as a global and remove this one or negotiate this one, just then the output will be 10. Global sum, okay, enter sum equal to, save these things and then let me run it out. Then it should be 10. Perfect. What exactly is the error which we get? Because it is not a syntax what we have defined. Okay, perfect. Now we have to cover the next topic. It's it most important topic here, that is input and output. Input and output, what exactly do you mean by input and output? Input is nothing but the things what we are giving into the system. Output is nothing but the things what we are taking from the system. Okay, fine. Before going into input and output, let me give you a small example. For suppose if you want to take an admission into the college or anything, you will stand in a line or you will give your things. Right now there is no line because of covid and all the things. Uh, usually, excuse me, usually if you want, something or taking a ration in the ration shop, you have to stand in a line, right? In the same way, after while taking your admission you have to stand in a line and they will ask you some basic details like which class and your mobile number, address, your father name, mother name, and all the things. So how much percentage you get and all the things they will ask. At the end they will give you admission is completed, thank you. This is what they will give you. We will give the inputs of all the things like our class and all the stuff, and then we will get the output as admission is completed. That is what the output. In the same way, input and output is also in the language, I mean in the to the computer. We will give the input by using the function input function. Okay, okay, fine. For output function we will use the function as print. Okay, I guess you come to know what exactly input we will use. Function. Input function is input. For output, we have the print function as a output function. Let us take an example of an ATM. ATM. If we go to the ATM, what it will ask inputs? It will ask the inputs as pin of first you have to place your card and then you will enter your pin and the amount you have to withdraw. These are the inputs for this ATM. And what are the outputs for this? It will take cash and at the end, thank you for banking. Just two or three. There may be the more steps based on the your day to day life ATMs. I've just given the basic outputs. Okay, fine. First, we will cover the outputs things. Okay, for outputs, if you are using pen and book, just write it out. For outputs, we will have print. We can print. For output, we will use print function, right? Okay, fine. For output we will use print function. For print we have values, separation, separation, separation with some spaces and all the things. And at the end we will I mean at the end we will have a backslash n. Backslash n is nothing but next line. I will explain you this thing in the next 10 to 5 minutes. Next we will have file and flush all the things. These two topics will be covered in the advanced section of the Python. Now just I'm covering these three which are most easy. Python, we will give the values as a things. For suppose if you print like this, if you use like this, print take cash. Okay, then what will be the output for us? See, invalid delta and pair. Okay, correcting yourself is more important. Everyone will fall. The person who corrects himself is the winner. See, what exactly is the print is giving us? Take cash 1000. It is giving us output the value or the thing what we have given as a given in the print, it is giving out. Okay, fine. Now if you give the cash like this, if you give the cash as a input, and then if you remove this one, and if you given this one cash and then enter, see why it given us out invalid output, because we haven't separated the things by using commas. That is the reason why we get that output is error. Everything should be separated by commas. That is what the main thing here. See, let me give the comma here, and then see, oh, here I had given the value which is defined here, right? Which is defined here, it is giving the output, right? It is giving the output as 1000. How, for suppose if I change it as 5000, 5000, then what will be the output? Then the output will be 5000. See, this will be fixed here, but it will changes time to time. Perfect. Now if you want to print more values, cash is 5000, remaining is re- remaining equal to 1 lakh, 1 2 3 4 5, remaining is 1 lakh, comma, you should be separated them with the commas, right? Remaining rem. Now just run the code. See, take your cash 5000, but it is not specified here. I will i will say you this thing using a split operator and all things. We will go further. I mean, sorry, split operator, not format specifier. I will say you that thing. Remember this point. Okay, fine. Next, now, or else we can cover it right now. See, take your take your cash, right? Take your amount. Take your cash. How much amount we are and remaining is we have to specify the remaining, right? How we will specify, I will show you. Dot format of cash comma rem. See, now it will give you output like this. Dot format class 2. Okay. Let us check once again so that we will not go wrong. Take your cache, line 27 in the module, trace back, none type, object has no attribute, dot format. Okay, okay. I should specify this inside the things. Perfect. Now it will give the output. Oh, I should not specify them as a string. I should specify them. I have to save that first. Perfect, right? Now I should get the output. Perfect. See, take your cache as 5000 and the remaining is 1 lakh. Now it is saying that what exactly is this format specifier. This will gives us the things like what exactly is the output we have to define in these things. Flower brackets we will use. This will take the first one, this will take the second one. For suppose if you specify them as in a reverse way, 0, it will take a 0 and it will take a 1. We will go this in a deep in the next few minutes. Okay, now coming to this one. For suppose if we want to here, okay, mm, let me put it in a this this way, and cache, take your cache, comma, cache, comma, rem, right? Perfect. Now if I print this one, what will be, what it will give output directly 5000, and take your cache 5000 comma 5000. It will not give comma. Why it is not giving comma? Basically in the Python, the separation, as I said here, separation will have a space. If you specify that separation, for suppose if you specify that separation comma sep equal to separation equal to dollar, if you specify that anything dollar or at the rate or anything, what you want the space to be filled, here we have is empty space, right? This empty space should be filled with something. I am filling that with at the rate. Let us take the output now. See, this empty space has been replaced with at the rate, right? This is what happened. What exactly internally things are already defined in the Python. This print function is already predefined in the Python by Goodyear and Rasm. So it is defined the separation as space, empty space. Now if you try to print, let me remove, this one here, and print rem, print remaining. If I try to print remaining at the next by using another print, see, it is printing in the next line, but I want this one as a, this one also in the same line. I mean, this 1 lakh is also in the same line. Then what I have to do, just write here uh, end equal to, see, predefinedly end will have backslash n will take you to the next line. See, I just given end equal to without any something, so I will give you some space. Okay, give some space and save it out and then run. See, I had given some space, and before the case, before I haven't specified the end here, then it will take the next line, right? Now it will take for if I haven't specified this one, it will take the next line, because predefinedly it will have a end as a backslash n inside. That is what I have to I am about to mention here the same. That is what it is done already. Next, as I said, format specifier, format output, we have some more outputs as fancier outputs, and we cannot use them in the print. We can use them in the print, and formatted string literals, and format method we had already specified here, but here I have specified it as a wrong way. It should be at the end, right? That is what we covered our mistake in the previous case. Next, now the input, we have to give the input. For suppose an example of the ATM, what exactly you will give the input, what exactly will you give the input, uh, what will you give the input to the ATM? You will give the input to the ATM as your pin and amount and all the stuff. Okay, let me try to check it out. mm, okay, let me try to minimize these things, I mean, uh, comment these things. I had already mentioned what exactly is by comments and all the things in the previous video. Check it out and come up with some doubts if you have something. For suppose if I mention a equal to Okay, cash is equal to input, cash equal to input, and then mhm, what it will give the output. First it will ask us the input here. See, let us try to run the code. In the line 36 we have something error. Invalid character. Okay, we have to specify this in a single quotes, right? Dollar or anything you can keep under anything. I will specify dollar here. Now it will give us output without any hesitation. Okay, it is asking. See, if you can see here, it is blinking. It is blinking. That means it is waiting for our input, but it is not giving us anything. Let me give 100 or 1000. Let me give 1000 here and click on enter. See, immediately when I enter the input, it given us the output. But in the industry it is not a good way of blinking the things. So we will specify the things, what exactly is to be displayed. Enter amount. Enter amount. Okay, it will show you enter amount. See, enter amount. How much amount you will enter? Enter 1000, and it is giving the output. That's it. That is what the input function mainly takes us the input. Okay, this is what it is already covered. And the important note points to be taken is input is always a string function. Anything, if you give something to the input function, here here we are giving the input as, see, here we are giving as input as integer type, right? But if you try to print here, print type of a, let me sorry, it is not a, it is cache, right? Print a type of cache. Let me try to print out. See, it is giving the print. And let me try to enter the amount, right? Enter. See, I enter the amount is 1000. It is giving, it is a string. But let me try to enter apple. What it will give? Apple. Enter. It is also the string. Let me try to enter 2.453663 or anything. It is also the string. Anything, if you are giving the anything, if you are giving anything by using input function, it is always a string function. Keep that in mind. Anything what we are giving as an input to the function by using the input function, it is always a string. How you can check? You have already by using the type. Okay, you have already checked it. How to convert from one what we can say, one character type to another character? How you will do that? How you will do that? By using typecasting. By using typecasting method. For suppose in this case itself, here it is printing as it is printing the type as what it is giving as output. What it is giving, it is a string. I just want it as a int. Print, sorry, a equal to int of cache. Print type of a. Now let us check what it is giving us output. Let me enter 1000, 10,000 or 1000. See, In the when I entered, it is a string. After that, I converted it is into a integer, right? Here it is a integer. I converted it into a integer, and when I try to check the type of it, it is a int. Okay, fine. Now it is clear that how we can convert one to another. For suppose if you want to give two inputs, how you will give? By using two input functions, a equal to input of enter a, b equal to input of enter b. It is a heavy lengthy process. Now we will reduce that here by using this way. Let us take an example in the same way. Cache comma pin, cache comma pin. Let me try to comment these things here. Okay, cache comma pin, input enter the amount and pin. Now we have to give two inputs, right? Dot s split comma. By using comma we will specify things. It will ask the inputs now. See, enter the pin amount and pin. Amount is 1000 comma, enter the amount and pin comma, pin is 1234. Enter. See, it has taken us taken two inputs from us, right? Perfect. Now we have come to the end of the inputs and outputs topic. If you have any doubts, kindly let me know. I am ready to help you out. Coming to the operators. What do you mean by operator? Cable operator or TV operator or the person who operates or checks the things is called the operator. Similarly, in Python or any program language, to do any operation, we will use operators to do something, to, to do any operation. Operations is nothing but addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Not only these different ways. What are the different types of the operators we have? There are arithmetic operator, relational operator, assignment operator, logical operator, and bitwise operator. What do you mean by the arithmetic operator? Arithmetic operator, you already know about them. Arithmetic operator is nothing but plus, minus, multiplication, division, floor, modulo division, and power in this. Let us check all the things in detail one by one here. Let us take an example. A equal to 5, a comma b, a equal to 5, a comma b equal to 5 comma 14, 14 comma 5, 14 comma 5. Okay, now save it. Okay, fine. Now arithmetic operators, right? What we are, plus, print, addition. First is addition comma a plus b, a plus b. Let us check what exactly is giving us output. Papam, 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 pam. Let me try to avoid this one. Okay, let me try to remove this, I mean comment this section. hmm. Okay, fine. Now the addition is, oh, I haven't done that, huh? I will do that. Now the addition, save it out. Now the addition is 19. What do you mean by subtraction? Subtraction. Subtraction is a minus b, right? A minus b. A minus b is 14 minus 5. It is 9. Perfect. A into b. Now multiplication. Multiply, right? See, multiply is 14 5 70. Done. Okay. A by b. Print a by b. And I mean that means a modulo a divided by b. Division. See, it is 2.8. Perfect. Now you if floor value. Floor value is nothing but floor value is nothing but it will gives us only uh, it will gives us only 2 floor, right? See, it is given us only the this value 2. Now you have power modulo module a module means 14 module by 5. What it will give us? Module will give us the reminder as the output. What exactly is this reminder and all the things? Let me explain you in here. Control n, don't save. Okay, fine. 14 divided by 5, right? Divided by 5 is nothing but 5. 5 twos 10. Here it is 4. 4.0. 5 fours, 5 eights, 5 fours 20. 5 eights 40. 0. Okay, fine. What exactly it will gives us? For suppose module will gives us the output like this: 14 divided by 14 twos 5 twos 20, 5 twos 10 by 4. See, this is what module given gives us the output. Okay, this is what module gives us the output. This is what a by b gives us the output. Okay, okay, fine. Module will gives us the output as reminder. A by b will gives us the output as what it will give. A by b will gives us the output as what exactly all the float value and all the things it will gives us the output. This is what it will gives us output. Okay, perfect. Now a power p, print power comma a double star b. What it will gives us the output? 14 power 5. 14 power 5, it will use 537826. uh, I'm not much aware of 14 power 5, but let us take an example to no problem. You can check it out here. That's it. That is the end of the arithmetic operator and all the things. It is a floor operator. Okay. Relational operator, a equal to a double equal to b. It will checks the relation. A is less than or equal to greater than or equal to greater than less than not equal to. Assignment operator, it will give and or and not all the things. And then bitwise operator, bitwise and bitwise or. Assignment operator is nothing but how we will assign all the things. A equal to C plus B, or A equal to A plus B, A equal to A plus B, or A plus is equal to B. This both will have the same. Okay. Few more we have, they are identity operators, is and is not, membership operators, in and in not, ternary operator. What exactly is the ternary operator in the C or Java? Ternary operator, we will have a statement. If statement is true, it will uh, execute statement 1. If statement is false, it will execute statement 2, sorry, statement 2. This is called ternary operator. In the same way, Python we also have a ternary operator, that is if else one line statement. That is, if we will give the true statement here, true statement to execute here. If expression is true, then it will execute this one. Let us take an example of this one. mm, Print true if a is greater than 12. If a is greater than 12, if statement, okay, else print false. Print, what it will give us output, it will give us output as true. The reason is that a is a is here defined, a is 14. A is greater than true, 14 is greater than 12, so it should be true. Let us check. See, this is true. For suppose a is less than 12, then what will be the output? False. See, so this is a ternary operator in Python. Ternary operator in Python. Okay. If else statement in a single line will form as the ternary operator. That is what, the ternary operator in Python. That is the end of this session. That's it. If you have any doubts, kindly let me know. I will be available for you in the comment section. All the best. Keep learning. Stay safe. Bye.